Hi there. Today I'm gonna tie a very famous Danish fly. This is called the Brenda, and it's a very famous Seatrout fly in Denmark. It's a fairly simple fly. We don't need much materials. We need some dubbing, few strands of flash, and then some ginger hackles. Well, first of all, I'm just gonna make a small short tail here. And then I'm gonna make from dubbing. So I'm taking a small bundle of this Salmon Supreme dubbing, and this is very important. It's Salmon Supreme dubbing in the color rainbow. This is, well, what I think is that this is really the trick and the secret behind this fly, because this Salmon Supreme in rainbow has some pretty unique properties. It's one of the most fluorescent materials I ever came across, and I think that's probably why this fly really has been so popular and caught so many sea trouts in the relative short period of time it has existed. So kind of like that, a small tail. This is a bit too long, I think. I'm just gonna trim it down. A small tail of dubbing. Then I take one strand of this crystal flash here. I'm gonna add that to each side, so it's gonna be one strand of flash on each side. We don't want too much flash here. It's not like we're tying a pike fly. If any of you have seen any of my pike flies, you will know that one strand of flash hardly constitutes a pike fly. So one strand of flash on each side of this. This is for a sea trout. This is meant to be a more subtle fly, like this. So one strand of flash on each side, like that. And then basically what we need to do is we need to have 3 hackles all the way up along the hook here, and these needs to be brown. So I'm taking these ginger hackles and I'm selecting 3 all at once, because then I get some that is almost the same length, like so. And these I take the first one here, and I tie this down in the tip here, like so. And then I'm gonna turn this hackle. If you want to do a fast version of this, then you can of course cheat and make a palmer hackle. But I talked to the inventor of this fly, and he says, actually I've done that video in Danish, and he says that's cheating, and that doesn't give the fly the credit it really needs, because 3 hackles is crucial, and it looks completely different in the water if you do it with 3 hackles instead of 1. So that's the first of my hackles here. As always, I think it's important to stress. I cannot stress enough the importance of having hackles in a good quality. Good quality materials will make you a better fly tyer. It's as simple as that. What's keeping a lot of people back, holding a lot of people back from making truly astonishing flies, is simply the lack of decent materials. Well, that was it. Then I'm gonna take some of this rainbow dubbing, attach it to the hook, get it onto the thread, and then simply make a small portion of the body here. What we know is we want the 3 hackles up here distribute all along the hook here. So I'm gonna make this dubbing here, and I'm gonna make it so it's about halfway up the hook shank, and then I'm gonna take another hackle. So just add a bit more dubbing so I get the right body thickness and stuff like that, like so. I would say around there is nice. Then I'm gonna take one of the other hackles, if I can locate them. Here it was. I'm gonna tie this down right there. Make sure everything is nice and fastened. What is important about these hackles, as I spoke about the quality, is when you buy hackles for instance from Whiting and stuff like that, you can be sure that each and every single feather is of a good quality, and the hackle stem is strong, and also that the hackle stem is thin. And the thinner the hackle stem, the easier it is to actually make beautiful flies. Because if your hackle stem is thick, for every turn you make of your hackle, you will get a very bulky appearance of the fly, and it will look clumsy and well, yeah, clumsy and not very graceful. Cutting off this, folding everything back. I really find myself loving this future fly thread more and more. It simply is just unbelievably strong compared to its thickness. So it's thin, so you can make small heads and even smaller heads, because you don't need to apply, let's say, 6 or 7 turns of thread in order to actually make your fly. Your materials fasten. You could use 2 or 3. So that, combined with the fact that it is as thin as it is, really makes this thread unique. I'm so happy about it. Also, it's nice that it actually, I think it's nice that it only comes in 2 colors. So it's black or white. You don't need all the other stuff anyway. For this fly, actually, I think a red thread is recommended, but well, I don't pay any attention to that. So my last hackle is up here, and we can hide all of this down here behind the gold head, like so. Nice and sturdy, tied down. If anything, make this last hackle here a bit longer, but also a bit more thick. So it take a few more turns of the hackle up here, so it gets a bit more dense. This is in combination with the copper bug, I would say, the two, and of course the pedigrees, the pink piglet, the most popular patterns for sea trout in all of Denmark. This is very popular because it's fairly easy, but it really have proven itself time and time again to be superior to a lot of much more complicated patterns. This simply just produces and produces and produces and produces time and time again. And part of that can be that it has this fluorescent dubbing here. So I'm just gonna take my scissor here, and I'm gonna scratch out some of this dubbing to give it a bit of a translucent effect here. And when you do this, be careful not to get any of the to cut any of the thread. And there you have it, the Brenda. Very popular, very popular fly in Denmark. Fairly simple, but works like a charm. And this one, I assure you, this one really has an almost magnetic appeal to sea trouts. I can try to show you how as you can see, it really lights up under the UV light. So it has this amazing fluorescent effects. Not UV effects, but fluorescent effects. There's a lot of hype about this fluorescent and UV stuff, and well, I've done a whole video on how fluorescents work and how UV works. So swing by and watch that on my channel as well if you haven't, and if you're curious about that. Well, those were the words, the Brenda.